Hey everybody, welcome to another Fridays from the Farm with Farmer Chris. It's so good to see all of you in this year, 2021. Thank you all so much for your patience and awaiting our first video of this new year. The first 3 weeks have obviously been incredibly busy, and there's plenty of more work to do. And so that's got me thinking about the way that we approach the work that we have to do here on the farm. And I want to encourage you to do the same thing. New Year's generally bring about a desire to talk about goals, to talk about things that we want to look forward to. And I'm struck by this really interesting thing in the role that I have is that sometimes I have work for myself, sometimes I have work for my community, sometimes I have work for the animals. And so those goals look different in lots of different ways. And sometimes it's just me, and then sometimes the picture is really big, which is why I wanted to start in time and space, because you all are right where you are. And all of us are on that planet right there, Earth. And here we are within this big solar system with all this stuff going on around us. And so sometimes it might be hard to dial in exactly what we want to do for ourselves or for others. And so my encouragement with this video is to just reflect and think about the goals that you want to set out for yourself this year, goals that you want to set out for your family this year. And then I'm just excited to see you get through them. I'm excited to work through them myself. And so how great is it that we have all this stuff to do? Super looking forward to getting into it with you. Let's go. And also, of course, stick around for Curious Corner, That's Art, and Jokes with Robin. Y'all take care. As a manager, I could not do this work by myself effectively. I can maybe keep things together and going, but the idea of growth is just not going to happen if I'm alone. And so, in working with my team, it's super important that we communicate, even if that means talking about something that might be uncomfortable. But I guess the important thing to remember is that really starts with me in the sense of how I approach that with some understanding, but at the same time, expectation. And so, as long as I'm truthful and honest and respectful in my communication and direct, I think it's important to realize that there can be some great benefits to that. And I'm not talking about goats. I'm talking about communicating with my colleagues, my partners. I think that it's important to remember that anytime we communicate, it's a two-way street, transmitting and receiving. And we have to be sure that we're not stuck in transmit and that we're open to receiving information as well. And then lines of communication are clear and things are able to move forward. Right? She agrees. Goal setting. Part of our goals for this 2021 year being different in that a lot of our students are having to adapt where they're at. We'd like to set a goal of having an authentic meeting virtually with more than 500 students in the next 6 months. We don't have the specifics of how we're going to do that yet, but I have no doubt that this is a problem that we can certainly solve, and we'd love to get you all in here for some virtual dairy opportunities where myself or my staff are just going through the process of milking our goats live, and you all can interact with us and have some kind of questions and answers moments, because that's what we do here. We milk goats and then we make some cheese, and we want to make sure to give it to you. That's one of our goals. So, how about it? Hey, everybody. That's art. So this week I've chosen the piece Seascape at Port-en-Bessin. Please let me know if that's not the way you say it. But this is by George Seurat. And that might even not be the way that you pronounce this artist's name, but I'm doing my very best. But the reason I chose this was because this seascape, this painting, is a great example of pointillism. The artist uses very small dots of color to create a very large piece. So you can see if we get really close in here, you can see that each piece of color, each thing is one fall of the artist's brush. And when we get really far out, we begin to see that it's a seascape. But then if we go all the way back in, then you can see that it's just a bunch of dots together that make up a whole. This piece struck me is that I think that it's really cool to think about the idea that this artist at some point after making all of these dots stopped. So that meant that there was a last point, there was a last touch of this piece that this artist did. I just think that's really cool because the idea that one more dot might have changed it, or even one less dot might have changed it from this piece that we see here today. I just thought that that was kind of an interesting connection, an interesting relation, and the idea that sometimes even the smallest little detail, together with other details, create something really beautiful. And so, I hope you create something really beautiful. Y'all take care and enjoy your art. Hey everybody, welcome to A Curious Corner. This is not a farming tool. This is a baby grand piano that was generously donated to the school recently, and I couldn't help but come in here because I think it's one of the things that you can hit your head on if you're making a video and not paying attention. But even more so, it's super intricate, and I love that you can get inside and see the actual functioning of what happens inside of a piano. It's so intense to me because it's so very specific that one wire goes from this place down to that place, and then there are hammers and mallets that are involved in lifting up and tapping a wire that ends up resonating to create a sound, and then these cool pockets and holes that end up making the sound travel more and more. And so just the idea that all of that is contained within this shiny black wooden box just amazes me. And so my curiosity to you is, what are you going to do to resonate this year? I went a different direction. Maybe it's something just for yourself. Maybe it's something within your family or within your community, but I'm really excited to see all of the ways that different people resonate throughout this really important year. I hope that you take that to heart and that you're curious about what you have to offer as well. Have a good one. So far, this is the oldest I've ever been. You all get me.